Welcome to the Quick Start tutorial for Scattered at Sea, a survival card game by Nancy Hutchins. I'm Ferdinand the cardboard stacker and I will be your guide in this game. Your goal in Scattered at Sea is to find several survival items among boat pieces. But you must act quick. Boat pieces are drifting apart and players are stealing your gear. You need water, food, and piece together one flotation device and one signaling device. Once you have those items, you are rescued and won the game. To set up a game, first place the floating boat piece card in the middle of the table. Then place the sinking boat pieces surrounding the floating boat piece. Then place the swim card between each boat piece starting on the one movement side. A 4, 5, and 6 player game should look like this, and a 2 and 3 player game should look like this. Then place the remaining swim cards near the play area. They will be used later in the game. Next, set up the debris cards. First, remove all cards according to the rulebook based on the number of players that are in the game. A game with less players will ask to remove more cards. For example, in a 4-player game, 2 complete sets of flotation devices, 2 complete sets of signaling devices, 3 junk cards, 2 food cards, and 2 water cards are removed. Removed cards are returned to the box. Then, all players receive 7 debris cards face down. Player hands are kept secret in this game. The remaining debris cards are dealt to sinking boat pieces as evenly as possible. The player then places their player tokens starting on the floating boat piece. First player is determined by who recently went onto a boat or ship, or players may determine their own way to choose first player. Alright, let's move on to gameplay. The players, known as survivors, are trying to collect water and food and piece together flotation devices and signaling devices. To win, you must have played and completed a flotation and signaling device, and have in hand a water and food card. When you have all these items on your turn, you may announce that you have won the game. Alternatively, a player can complete the 6-part flotation device known as the life raft and have a transporter card to win. Water and food are included in the raft already. Any flotation and signaling devices are part of a 4-piece set. It needs to be all collected and played in order to be used. There are several sets of devices, but all are different. If you're able to collect all 4 pieces of the device, then you may play it in front of you on your turn at any time. Once played, other players may not steal these cards and you may not play more of the same type in front of you. In this game, a player's hand size is limited to 7 cards. You may have less than 7 cards, but a player must discard any excess cards until they have 7 in their hand. Any discarded cards go to the discard area known as the sea, representing it floating out to the ocean. The player must show and announce to all players the card they are placing face down. Starting with the first player, turns are passed clockwise and the game will take several turns to complete. On a player's turn, they have 2 stroke points allowing them to move 2 spaces. It takes 1 stroke to move to the next number of a swim card and 1 stroke from a swim card to a boat piece. A player starting on a sinking boat piece must move off their current location to a swim card and may not return to the same boat piece on the same turn. Multiple players may occupy the same space. When moving onto a sinking boat piece, you have 2 options. First, you can draw the top debris card of a sinking boat deck. If a player has more than 7 cards in their hand, they must immediately discard any excess out to sea. And second, if there are any other survivors on the same boat, a player can steal a card from a survivor. To steal, the player selects a survivor and shows a card from their hand. If that player has a card with the same name, then they must give that card. The selected survivor may choose to give a junk card instead of giving up their named card. Junk cards played this way are removed from the game. If the survivor does not have a specific card, they in return can steal from the same player. When stealing, a survivor does not need to show a card for water, food, or for the transponder. If the very last card on a sinking boat piece is drawn, a few things happen. First, the sinking boat piece is removed from the game. Any empty swim cards at this point leading to the spot gets removed. Then all remaining swim cards are increased in distance. In the first instance, it is flipped from 1 to 2. Then on the second instance, it is replaced with a swim card with a 3 distance. Then on the last instance, it is flipped to 4 spaces. Any survivors are moved to an adjacent swim card of their choice, starting on 1. The floating boat piece, the center card, is different from the sinking boat pieces. It has no debris cards on it, but it allows the survivor to search the cards in the discarded area known as the sea. To search, the player reveals a card from their hand and flips a card in the out of sea area. If the player is incorrect, the player adds it to their hand and their turn ends. If the player correctly reveals the card, then he takes it in hand, and then they may make another search. A player can continue to search as long as they correctly flip over the right card. When all sinking boat pieces are gone, the ability of the floating boat piece changes. This time when the player searches, they don't have to show a card in order to search for a card at sea. Survivors continue to take turns until a sole survivor plays the life raft and the transponder card, or have the necessary 4 items. When they do on their turn, they are rescued and win the game. And that concludes the tutorial for Scattered at Sea. For more information about this game, please look in the description below. This is the Cardboard Stacker, and see you next time.